Destination Mark.
Hey guys, how's it going? Marcelo here. With Crash Team Rumble's closed beta quickly approaching, I wanted to make a quick follow-up to my first impressions video, but specifically about the characters and their classes. Previously I talked about who was in which class and how the classes worked, but if you didn't see that video, which I'll link to at the end, let me give you the cliff notes. Crash and Tana are scorers, and your job if you're playing as one of them is to break crates, collect Wumpa fruit, and deposit them into your team's bank as quickly as possible, then rinse and repeat. Dingodile is a blocker, so your goal is to either stay behind at your team's bank and defend it from the opposing team if they're trying to sabotage you, or head over to their side and be the one doing the sabotaging. And lastly, Coco and Cortex are boosters, so as them you must collect relics and deposit them into the relic stations, and capture gem pads to boost your team's scoring. Like I said before, technically anyone can do any of these jobs, but once you notice the differences in how much more or less any one character can carry from another, you'll understand the importance of sticking to your primary objective. Even though everyone's going to need to multitask, the one thing everyone should be doing consistently is collecting fruit to cash in at their bank. So now that we're familiar with each character's job, the only question left is, who makes up the perfect team? In my quest to answer that, the one thing I'll say off the bat is, it's going to entirely depend on the players that the team consists of. If you love chunky characters who deal a lot of damage, you're going to love playing as Dingo. Just know you won't be very fast or athletic with him. If you love the familiar slide-spinning, crate-breaking gameplay of Crash 4 and want to stay as simplistic and efficient as possible, then Crash would be your go-to. And if you have a penchant for aiding your team, then you'll definitely want to be Coco. Or if you fell in love with Cortex's simple-to-pick-up, hard-to-master playstyle, you'll still find that with him here too. But again, where's that perfect balance? Who would you want on your team, and how would that be beneficial? Well, let's get the silly ones out of the way. Going for all of one class could still work, but it wouldn't particularly be ideal. If you went with all scorers, you can collectively hoard lots of fruit, but you'll be fresh meat for any blockers. If my footage is anything to go by, a few crashes can take out a Dingo, but a one-on-one with him would end pretty badly. All boosters would be much of the same, except you'll be collectively carrying less fruit, regardless of the boosts in play. And all blockers, well, with just Dingo to choose from right now, that's a disaster waiting to happen. You're all very slow and won't be able to efficiently get that verticality that everyone else can, even if you're on a stage like Tiki Towers with the catapults. If you can't swipe the relics necessary to open them, you're pretty much restricted to the ground or sloppily scurrying to jump those platforms. Now as for mixing and matching, the more optimal way to go, the quick answer can offer a few variations. I'd say try a team that consists of either a scorer, a blocker, and 2 boosters, or 2 scorers, a blocker, and a booster. With 2 scorers, you'll be able to cash in quite the amount of fruit, especially if you both can hit that full 120 as many times as possible, and with the booster helping to secure gem pads, you can cash in a lot more, all while your blocker is staying occupied either defending your bank or taking the fight to the enemy's side. With 2 boosters, you can potentially capture gem pads and unlock power-ups and stage hazards much quicker. And since gem pad boosts can stack, you'll definitely want to go for those to help your scorer and the whole team in general when all of you go to cash in. Trying out half-and-half teams would be interesting. 2 scorers and 2 blockers, 2 blockers and 2 boosters. Again, you might run into the same issues if you go 2 scorers and 2 boosters, so I don't know if I can recommend that. There's a lot of room for experimentation there. I guess the only one real piece of concrete advice I can give is to definitely have at least one heavy on your team. Even if you choose the Gasmoxian Guard as your power-up, even if you're quick to activate defense hazards to trip up your opponents, even if you can secure gem pads before them, you're going to certainly need someone who can offer great defensive and offensive tactics, and take the hits as well. Also, at least one teammate should choose the healing fridge as their power-up. That way you can offer support to your blockers, as well as whoever needs immediate saving. So, after all that, who would make for the best well-rounded team? I still think these 2, the choices that offer the most well-rounded results. Make sure to talk with your team before each game to coordinate optimal character selections, choose a balance of offensive and defensive power-ups, help each other out whenever you can, and always take some time when you're being left alone to keep collecting and banking in fruit, since that's how you're going to win the match. I hope this helped you narrow down how you're going to want to play based on your style. But hey, there's no harm in experimenting either. With all that said, you're now ready to rumble. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video and want to see more Crash Team Rumble, be sure to subscribe and spin into that bell, and I'll see you for the beta. Until then, I'm Mark, and take care.